Hi everybody, I'm Ryan, and this past weekend was Qualifier Weekend, the once-a-month chance of competitive play in Magic Arena. And when I do competitive tournaments, I kind of want to do little tournament reports, so that's what this is. The story starts with the best of 3 play-in. I didn't have time for the best of 1 play-in the week before, and it is just horrible EV to grind for rank to qualify for Qualifier Weekend. I got a bunch of gems from drafting, and I was ready to rock. Decided to turn on the stream because why not? I was going to be sitting here anyway. And the play-in was Foundation Sealed, and you needed a 4-0 to qualify. So let's look at these sealed pools. So my first sealed pool, I got Liliana Dreadhorde General, which is an unbelievable bomb. I ended up building, I had a reasonable amount of fixing and 3 bushwhacks, so I decided to play Sultai. Unfortunately, I had some decent white as well. I really wanted to have in my deck, but I just didn't think it was worth it. And this deck was like pretty good. Like I would rank it like 7.5, 8 out of 10. I really liked this deck. And so I went into this first attempt pretty confident. I got paired against a red-white deck that, man, things just really didn't go my way. In game 1, I was able to cast Liliana Dreadhorde General, which is just disgusting. And then in game 2 and 3, they just eked me out. I didn't have a lot of interaction, got a little color screwed, and unfortunately, this is single elim. So I had to go into opening another sealed pool. And the sealed pool was worse. Not that much worse, though. You know, we had Krenko, we had Alesha, and Scavenging Ooze, which I was pretty excited about, as well as loot. And so the second sealed pool, I also felt reasonably good at playing a Jund version of the deck. In round 1 of this attempt, I played against Orzhov, and my opponent's deck was very good. He smashed me in game 1, and then in game 2 and 3, we played some marathon games. Like to the point that by the end of game 3, my opponent had like 3 minutes left on their clock, and it was just super back and forth. Both of the times I Tree Chop Snare Spinner were total MVPs. Like it was so impressive how good they were, and we went into round 2 finally with a win. In game 1 and round 2, I was able to play a loot, an extra land, and then my opponent was unable to answer it, so the following turn played 2 lands, activated loot, grab Alesha, and just rode that into the sunset. In game 2, I did something very similar, and just won, like very easily. In round 3, I got smashed game 1, not even close. I had a little bit of color issues. And then my opponent didn't really present any threats in game 2. And then in game 3, I was able to ride Scavenging Ooze and Wardens of the Cycle to victory, even though I was having some color issues really early in the game. In my winning in at 3-0, I played against a local, Slaterade, who I play at RCQs all the time. And I didn't play super duper tight, but in game 1, I got wildly flooded. And then in game 2, my opponent casts their unbelievable bomb, Valkyrie's Call, and I was just no way I could catch up with that. So I lost my winning in to somebody I play all the time. That was not great. But it was time to open another sealed pool. This sealed pool was not good. I did not like this deck at all. I was like trying to capitalize on elf stuff, and it wasn't good, guys. It really wasn't good. Luckily, my round 1 opponent had an unbelievable deck. We're talking like Curator of Destinies, Tatiova, we're talking Kiora, we're talking Zamone. I think they had like 1 or 2 other bombs. So we just got smashed anyway. Like I'm actually kind of glad that my awful pool got paired into that, so I could just move on and open another pool rather than wasting my time. So we opened pool number 4, opening Celestial Armor, bunch of 2-drops, just a pretty aggressive green-white deck with preposterous proportions and whatnot. We really wanted the Lifelink Hawk because we got 2 of Johnny's Pride Mate that we are not really able to capitalize that much on in this deck, which is really unfortunate. And we just got destroyed by an aggressive Orzhov deck that was trying to do a similar thing than us and had better cards. In pool number 5, I opened double Jaya Judgment, Anthem of Champions, which felt pretty good. Decided to go back into green-white. This green-white version was much better. Still not great. Like the Day of Judgment was the card that could push this deck over the top, but I still think this was like a 6, unfortunately. Game 1, round 1, we were able to play an Anthem of Champions and ride that to victory. And then game 2, my opponent didn't really produce that many threats, and we just won. So in round 2, we were kind of going card for card until my opponent ran out of threats, and I was able to Day of Judgment the threats that were on the board away, which was awesome. And then play an Anthem Champions and then just like draw creatures and my opponent didn't. And then we just beat him up game 2. In round 3, my deck didn't really function. I kept a 1-color hand and my opponent had a very aggressive start and I just couldn't cast the green spells in my hand in game 1. And then in game 2, my threats just weren't as good as my opponent's and I got beat up, so I lost in round 3. At this point, I decided to call it and head to bed. I didn't lose that many gems, which was nice because, you know, you get quite a bit for your each win in a best of 3 plan. And I bet you thought this was going to be a full Qualifier Weekend tournament report. Well, it's not. Because all in all, I think even failure videos are really important because when you exist in a social media space in a game like this, basically all you see is successes, and it's important to understand that people fail as well. I mean, I could have stayed up, gotten a coffee, you know, and chugged it out. I didn't want to. You know, I started to not want to play, and it's a game. If it's not fun, I'm not going to do it. And so I hope this video makes you feel better, especially if you were able to actually play in Qualifier Weekend. If you like these videos, even if they're failure videos, please be sure to like and subscribe. Check me out on social medias. Links are above me and in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.